Hey team. Okay, so we are on part 6 for the sugar craving series here. So, number 6, the way you eat matters too. I can't stress this enough. People will overfixate on what they're eating, and number 1, that's not perfect anyway, so don't bother trying to be perfect with what's on your plate. So, with that being said, you should also put an effort to not be perfect, but improve the way that you eat. So when I say the way that you eat, no matter what's on the plate, I want you to chew your food really well, and I want you to stop when you're full. So this is basically what I call eating practices. And I think this is incredibly important, like I said, because you're not going to eat perfect every time. But this is crucial for having better digestion. The better digestion that you have, the better gut health that you're going to have, and the better gut health that you have, I promise, the less sugar cravings you will have. So one of the ways that you can have worse sugar cravings is if our gut health isn't the best. So if we have an imbalance of bacteria, so say ideally for gut bacteria, we want a lot of diversity, right? If there's a lot of diversity, everybody's kind of in check, versus if there's not a diversity and one particular type of bacteria or genre of bacteria is really high, the little guys kind of get beaten up. And so there's a little bit of an imbalance. So in general, when people have really good gut health and we test it, they have a lot of diversity. And how do we get diversity? We have diversity in our gut bacteria when we have a variety of plant foods. So eating lots of different types of plants every week. The number is actually 30 if you're curious on what you should strive for. And this is including seasonings, spices, like small things as well. So take a salad, like get a salad mix. So you have different types of greens and lettuce and spinach and things mixed in like that. That's good for variety as well. And adding little chives and little different types of plants. So that's a way you can get a lot of different types of plants in there without thinking like, oh my God, I have to eat 30 different types of vegetables. You don't. That's a lot of work. Don't do it that way. But like I said, circling this back to gut health specifically and talking about sugar cravings, our gut and brain are highly, highly connected. They're connected through the vagus nerve. So if you have an imbalance in gut bacteria, and your body's going to let you know, right? So those particular bacteria are connected to your brain. So if they want sugar, if they want that quick fuel and you're withholding it from them, so say you just cut out sugar, you're going to know about it. Your cravings are going to go up. So make sure that we're having these balanced meals to, 1, regulate our blood sugar, and 2, also help shift that balance as far as the diversity in our gut health. So, and that really does start with how you're eating. If you chew really well, if you sit down in a calm place, if you're looking at your food, if you're, like I said, chewing really well, like chew your food until it's almost liquid. And if you're having liquid food like soups or smoothies or things like that, still chew it. So you tell your brain that you're eating, you can secrete the right digestive juices, your food can properly be broken down in your stomach, and then it moves all the way through. Versus if I'm pounding like a burrito when I'm driving like 60 miles an hour on the highway, I'm not going to be in that restful optimal digesting state. So that's really, really important. And those are very simple things that you can do. They're totally free, right? You just got to take a little extra time and be conscious of it. And it's definitely a progression, but this is incredibly helpful. This also makes food more satisfying as well. If you make it really interesting, if you spend some time with your meals and during your meals. So another book that I found absolutely fascinating is called Off Menu by Nell McShane Wolfhart, and I'll link it in this email as well, but I think it's only available on Audible. And this is basically how to throw the best dinner party, but it has a lot of science and research as far as like what makes your meals more enjoyable. So if you're new to a health journey and you're finding like, gosh, everything tastes like cardboard, she has a lot of really practical tips. Like they've surveyed people as far as, giving them the same meal and asking them about it afterwards. And the only difference was the shape of the bowl or the color of the plates and things like that. And so not that those are game changers, but it's really interesting, some of those little tips and tricks to make the meal that much more satisfying. Really smelling your food, that helps improve the taste of things as well, the atmosphere of it. So I found that book incredibly interesting. So I definitely encourage you to check it out. That's Off Menu. I'll link it in the email. But other than that, that's what I have for you. Concentrate on those practical habits of how you eat. Sit down, chew your food, take a work break, don't eat at your desk, things like that. But hopefully this is helpful and this series is helping your sugar cravings. If it is, please forward this email to a friend. Encourage them to subscribe. Even though we're 6 out of the 8 parts of the way through, you can go back and look at the other videos and emails as well. So thanks so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.